I can't boil down 10 years to one thing, because Lord knows we're doing a bunch of conversations here, but if you were to boil it down to one memory, that if someone said, okay, you're going to take one thing out of this as far as, and again, not a personal memory as the mayor, but something that happened in the community as a result of the work the city or the community has done, what would that be?
I think the flood mitigation work is one of the really dynamics that we've dealt with in the last 10 years and before and moving forward. And, you know, I remember honestly in 2016, it was when we had that major, was it 16 was the major event.
Yeah.
We got like 120, 130 millimeters of precipitation, both heavy rain and snow. And obviously within a very short period of time, we were starting to see the effects of how we were going to be in trouble. And I remember I come in here, I'm sitting in this office at 4 o'clock, 4:30 in the morning, and the CAO at the time, we're in here, and I'm responding to every aspect of issue on social media that I could,
Right.
and people concerned on what we're doing and how we were managing it.
Oh yeah, EOC almost, right?
Yeah. And so as a result of that, now we replaced 4 bridges in the community that with new bridges, either with replacement bridges or replacing culverts with bridges. And I think honestly, to me, that piece of it, you know, people's homes were flooding.
Yeah.
And then the surge of sewage where people's homes were backing up with raw sewage just because of the sheer volume that was being impacted by the community. And to me, it was just horrific, the worry that I experienced in that time. And I would have never thought about that in terms of as a citizen when you see emergencies occurring in a community, how worrisome it was. And so that to me is the one that I think about.
I remember that when Premier comes up and we do this is what's going on, at the 8th Street, but then okay, we got a break. Why? Because Premier Clark's going to go to a house, and then you can see her standing in that
basement, right?
Yeah, and you go, this is somebody who lives right here.
Yeah.
Right? It's not just
it affects
the
us.
city infrastructure. So
Every one of us, I think nobody in this community didn't know a family member, friend, or somebody that was impacted by that. And certainly I had that experience where I had family and friends that were impacted by it. And, I take it personally. I did take it personally and felt responsible that we need to do things to make sure nobody should ever experience that in my view. And you should be trying to do everything you can to build infrastructure to prevent that and minimize the risk of it.
Well, and a one-off thing, and I mean a one-off thing is one thing, plane crash or something.
Sure.
But oh no, this is a potential every year for some people. It's just the anxiety and the stress. Just even when there is no flood, until there is no flood and you're past that season, anxiety could be high, right?
Yeah, we were. You think about that in terms of these events. We had that one there was 1 in 200 year. Well, then we had 1 in 11, we had 1 in 16, we had 1 in 19. So all of a sudden, these 1 in 100, 1 in 200 years are happening every 5 years.
I always laugh at the 1 in 100 or 1 in 200 and you go, okay, but where do you start counting? Because we're looking at 1 billion years here. Yeah. So where would you like to start the 100-year count, right?
I don't know. It's happening every 5 years.
Yeah.
So
the 100 years is forever, not just these 100, right? Yeah. So I mean, we talked about it last time briefly, but and you just mentioned it, and it triggered me about it. Is personally, and talk about communication, and when somebody